Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 11. And this is actually a big episode, an important episode. It is my 400th episode. So, big milestone, pretty amazing. And it is so cold today. Right now, with the wind chill, it's 10 below zero, which is minus 23 degrees Celsius. To give you an idea, it is very, very cold outside. The last couple days, it's been below zero, and it's going to continue to be below zero for about 7 more days. I'm sorry, below freezing for about 7 more days. The furnace in the house can't keep up with it. Yesterday, the temperature dropped to about 66 degrees. This morning it's about 61 degrees, so hopefully today it'll get a little bit better. I think we've bottomed out finally as of this morning, as of right around now, and it'll get better, so hoping for that. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and I'm going to be out and about making some money. And I feel like today's going to be a momentous day in other ways as well. So we'll find out how things go, and I'll let you know. Right now, like I said, it's 3 degrees outside, minus 10 with the wind chill, and I've been in the car for about 20 minutes, and it's still very, very cold in the car. Car is working very hard. I just put a new battery in the car about a week ago, and it was tough starting the car just because of the cold. So, like I said, hopefully this is the bottom, and it's going to warm up from here. So, today's plan is to play 1 or 2 sessions of blackjack and 3 or 4 sessions of slots. And I feel like we're going to have a big breakthrough today. So, I'm going to let you go, and I'll be back to update you shortly. Alright guys, I am back. So, I walk in this place just intending to play for about 20 minutes or so. Usually everything is cleaned out by the time I get here, especially today. I'm a little bit later than I'd like to be. And I walk in, I look around, I see a couple small plays and just don't do well on them, lose, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. And then I see a play that is generally a good play, but lately, let's just say that's the last time I play that machine, because they've tightened it up so much. At $2 a spin, with it ready to pay out, by the time the play was over, I lost $320. And this is not a new thing. This has been happening more and more often, and this machine's been tightened more and more. And I've just reached the point now where this one joins another one, which is similarly themed, and I don't play either one. The other one, a lot of my friends play every single day, and I don't even look at it anymore. So, once it gets down to a low enough return to player, it's not even worth my time, because I'm not here just to get points and hopefully break even. I got plenty of points. I'm looking to make money and move on to the next spot. So anyway, after that play, I was down $320, and then I moved on. I'm starting to walk back to the main part of the casino, and I get a call from a friend of mine, and I missed the call. I call him back, and as I'm calling him back, I see him walking with the manager of the casino, and I'm like, oh boy. But he's chatting with the manager of the casino, and he's actually saying, hey, did you see this play over here? And I'm like, why are you doing this? And he's like, oh, he doesn't care. I'm like, you can't be talking like this in front of this guy. So he took me over to a play that I'd already seen, and it was borderline, and I didn't want to play it. And at that point, I'm like, well, I might as well give it a shot at this point. So I played it and just about broke even on it. Then I moved on to another machine, and now the manager's hanging around us, watching what we're doing. He's like talking to us like we're his buddies, which is like the worst thing that we could do. So I start complaining about how much I lose and how this never pays and things like that. And of course, I win $200 while he's sitting there. So now, anyway, and I'm like, wow, that's so lucky. It's because you're here with me and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm getting close to back to even. I mess around looking at a few other machines, and then I find another machine that is an okay play, but it's a longer term play. So it's a longer term play. I sit down at it, and it takes me about 15 minutes or so to hit it, and I end up leaving ahead for the session $149. So plus $149 there. I wasted about 45 minutes in there, but I made money, so I guess I didn't waste anything. Moving on to the next spot. Temperature is still very, very cold. It's 2 degrees, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. When I walked into this next place, the first thing I saw was the guy who probably plays more than anyone in this area. And frankly, I was a little depressed when I saw him. I thought, there's going to be nothing here. So I said hello to him, and I said, well, I guess there's nothing here. And I said, I'm just going to take one quick around and get out of here. And he said, okay. And he left. And as we were talking for a second, we pulled up on this machine, and there was something I wouldn't play, but I guess he would play, that was there, and the slot attendant was holding it for him. So again, a little shady, a little shaky, but none of my business. Let him do what he wants to do. Let them do what they want to do. He's done a lot of good for me by getting a lot of people ejected. So I'm not going to complain, and I'm not going to bite the hand that helps me feed myself, I guess, but he helps make it more possible for me to make money. So anyway, I walked around the place and found a play right away, and it paid pretty decent. And then I treaded water for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes after that, and ended up leaving ahead $113. So plus $113. Now we're going to go play some blackjack, and I'm excited about today playing blackjack. I've got a good feeling about today. I feel motivated. I feel excited. I feel optimistic. All that stuff today. So some good stuff is going to happen today. I can feel it already. So for now, I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to come back and let you know the good news. Guys, I'm back. I went in there with the primary goal of playing blackjack, but with the outside chance that I might play some slots if there's something worthwhile. I didn't think that I would find anything slot related, but of course you got to look. So I go to the blackjack table, and there's a $50 table and a $200 table. So I sit around waiting for the $50 table, and then they end up lowering the $200 table down to $50. So I move over there and I play there for a while, and I'm going to cut past a lot of the usual short stuff that I talk about, all the little details and stuff. I saw a friend of mine in there. We talked for a few minutes and all that, but I want to cut to this. The net at the end of my session was plus 600. Significance of that, with that $600, I now have a total of over $500,470 in lifetime winnings. $500,470, $500,000 in lifetime winnings, and I couldn't be happier. I'm very excited about it, very humbled about it, and it was actually a pretty easy session, not too much ups and downs. And I've been thinking about this year for a few weeks, that it was coming up, and at the end of last year had a big surge toward the end, but just missed my goal. And first week of this year, I had a big surge, and it was just barely late. And then had a good week last week with a lot of trouble, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of $5,000 and $6,000 swings and $7,000 swings. But here we are, chipping away, 1 inch at a time. Inches become feet, become miles, and here we are. Total advantage play winnings over $500,000. Amazing. I'm just really so humbled. Really, I can't believe it that 4 years ago I was playing in casinos worrying about how I'm going to pay bills, and now I can go into a casino and I know that I have an advantage. It doesn't necessarily mean a win, but an advantage. So anything can happen. From here I could easily fall below this level, but I did achieve it, and I am going to celebrate it for a minute here. Right now, however, I'm going to go to my next spot and play there for a short time, and then I'm going to find a decent meal to eat that's not fast food and celebrate my first $500,000. So I hope I don't sound like I'm bragging, because I'm not trying to. I'm just very excited about it. Alright guys, letting you go. I found no slot plays there. I'll be back shortly. Alright my peoples, I went in there. Normally this place is kind of quiet, not much happening, and it did not disappoint today either. It was pretty quiet and not too much going on. I made a couple small plays, ended up down about 50 cents, and then found one more machine and played that, and played that through and ended the session ahead $180. I searched everywhere for a play, but there just wasn't anything available. The parking lot is almost empty today, and just didn't have the opportunity. But luckily the machines I did play overall paid off, and made a little bit of money. And right now I don't even know what a good meal is anymore. I've been eating all this fast food for so long. I am, let's see how we're doing on gas. We're still good on gas for a couple more hours. I filled up last night. One thing about the cold is you want to always try to have at least half a tank of gas. You don't want your fuel line freezing up, or your fuel tank or anything freezing up, so you want to at least have half a tank of gas. Yeah, I'm going to head toward the next casino. I think we're up about 1,000 already today, and we're going to see what we can do. And along the way, I'm going to look for a nice place to eat, and I'm going to sit down and enjoy myself for a few minutes, and just be happy for a few minutes. So plus 180 at this spot, and I'm moving on. Alright guys, I am back. Whew. Wow, got some Asian food, and normally when I say extra spicy, they don't really do that. They just put a little bit of spice in there. But this place was serious. When you say extra, they make it that way. I had some nice Kung Pao chicken, egg drop soup, some nice tea, and somehow it was a lunch special and cost so little, it was ridiculous. I was the only person in the restaurant. It was me and the lady working as a waitress slash owner, or whatever she is, and someone in the kitchen. And she was actually sitting on one of those little kids chairs with facing the kitchen, like halfway in the kitchen, halfway out. And I think she was I don't know, chopping up vegetables or something. She was doing something there on a little kid's table, and then she'd come by and make sure I was doing all right. So at this point now, it was delicious though. At this point now, I am moving on. The temperature in this area is warmer than it is at my house, but the temperature at home is finally starting to move up. Looking at my Nest, outside my house is up to 11, and before the wind chill, and 67 inside the house, which is good. They got a nice fire going at home, and I told my wife to make some cookies or something in the kitchen that the kids could have fun with and help her, and it would help warm up the house too. So, all right, we'll have some nice cookies to celebrate when I get home. Right now, heading off to the next place, and we're gonna see what we can do as far as some slots. I am looking for a long-term play at this place as well, but I have to be very mindful. This is one of the special places that has a lower return to player, so you have to be very careful what you play and when you play it. So right now, letting you go, and I'll be back to update you shortly. Alright guys, went into the next place and not much going on. I am completely shocked though. It may be an off day, it may be because of the holiday, but I am very shocked, and we'll see at the next casino at the lower numbers of Asian advantage players. Just in a week or two, the amount of volume drop off, and we'll see. I did notice a lower volume last time I was here, and today much lower, and at an earlier place today much lower. So we'll see if they're just taking a day off or not. But basically played one machine and ended up losing about $55 or $60 on it, and then played another machine that had come out over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and everybody quickly learned the machine and quit the machine because of the bad payouts. But all of a sudden at this one location, it seems to have had a revival, so I'm going to be still very careful with it. You can bet anywhere from 60 cents to $60 on this machine, so it's it depends on the location. It might be more or less. It's not something you can look up and say, oh, it must be this. But I've had some decent hits on that one, and I only had 3 or 4 spins on there, and I got all my money back and ended up leaving ahead $15. So not a big win, but at one point I was prepared to leave down 130 or so, and then just took one more lap around and found that. Let's see what else is going on. The weather's still pretty bad. You could say almost like a state of emergency, although there isn't any snow on the ground anymore. Just the frigid temperatures, and you can tell everybody's on guard, and they're seeing cars on the side of the road abandoned and things like that. So hopefully, we don't lose any life, and we get back to some normal weather soon. I think we're 7 days away from being above freezing, so it's going to take a minute. Right now, I'm heading off to another place, and hopefully I can make something happen here, because I feel like the day's kind of died off a little bit. I'm up around 1,000 today, but I really had higher hopes for the day, and just haven't had a chance to make those materialize. So right now, letting you go, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. I go into this place, and again, I'm seeing some advantage players, but not that many, so it's pretty surprising. A couple Asian players, a couple white players. That's really about all I saw in there. Not a lot of stuff going on. It seems like, and I'm thinking that I'm pretty right on this, that the casinos in this area, someone hit them pretty hard and just cleaned out any kind of play or almost play to get points. And I think that's what's going on, because the things that I saw were at levels you never see them unless the machines got reset. So someone is trying to earn something. So let's let it go at that. Walked around and found only a couple small plays. Really didn't get much. Really didn't play much. I was in there for less than 30 minutes, and overall ended the session ahead $64. So I looked at my points. I have so many points, and I thought maybe I'd go get some food, and most of the food area is closed, and the things that are open just sound really awful to me. So I couldn't even get any kind of bottled drink to take with me, just to use some of my points up. So yeah, unfortunately, not really much going on there. Right now, I think I'm going to head toward home and really kind of figure out what I'm going to do from here. I don't see a lot of opportunity. It's still kind of early. I could hit one other casino. It's out of my way. It would add about 40 minutes to my trip, but it may be worth it. So let me consider that, and then I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. So as you know now, overall, in my gambling, in my advantage play gambling, I have now reached a milestone of being ahead $500,000. $500,000. And I can say it was quite a journey, and I tried not to act like I'm better than anyone else, but what I do suggest is that I work harder than most other people. Not all other people, because I know some people who work pretty darn hard, but I suggest that working hard and working smart will get you there. And I definitely am not the biggest genius in the world, but one thing I do is persevere, and I'm willing to go as far as I have to get my goals. Before Advantage Play, I was a losing player overall. I had ideas about how to beat the casinos. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I would worry when I would go to casinos about if I'd have enough money, how much am I going to lose on this trip, and things like that. And obviously an advantage player is more worried about how much I can get away with winning on this trip, rather than how much am I going to lose on this trip. Obviously, I've had a mind for math my whole life, and I had some previous ideas about how to beat the casinos, and there were some years where I actually did pretty well, but not consistently. But learning blackjack, card counting, and then other things later on made a huge difference, obviously, in my life. And now every year I can say that I'm getting better, and I'm making more money now than I ever have. But I understand that the journey has just begun, and if I was a baby growing up to an adult, I would say right now I'm just starting to crawl, and I have a long way to go. So, you know, more than once in the past, when I looked into beating the casinos, I saw all these sites that talked about card counting and things like that, and how it was impossible, it was too hard, you're going to get caught, you're going to go to jail, you need a huge bankroll, you don't make enough money, it's not worth the risk, it's not worth the time. And you can make a case for a lot of those things, but if you know what you're doing and you know what to expect, and your sample size is big enough, you will make money in the long run if you're playing things the right way, with the right spread, for the right amount of time. It's when you have an advantage and you play for a short period of time, your sample size is not big enough to determine if you're a winning player or not. You have to have that 1,000 hours under your belt card counting to really know which direction you're going. You know, all the different sites I went to, it looked like a lot of them were owned by casinos, and maybe they used to be sites that were owned by people who wanted to help you beat the casinos, but then casinos bought them out, made them their own, and you know, obviously they want to discourage you. As an advantage player, we're under constant surveillance. The casino has an agenda, and the agenda is to make people feel like they're going to win, make people feel like they're going to have fun, make people feel like they have a chance. But the real agenda is to take their money any way they can, and they have no mercy, and they don't care how poor you are. I've talked about that before. But in the last 3 years, next month will be 3 years, I've gone from having one casino and only going to that one casino to being ejected from that casino and having to spread my wings, so to speak, and learn other things in other places and other games to make money. And since then, I don't know how many miles that I've driven. I would estimate 200 and something, 250,000 miles that I've driven doing this. Hold on a second here. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm here. Sorry, another Advantage player was texting me, and I thought something was wrong, but it's okay. So, yeah, probably between 250 and 270,000 miles in the last 3 years, and I've used my time wisely, learning in the car, watching videos, growing as an Advantage player. I've made contacts in dozens of other casinos, and I'm hitting 15 casinos constantly now. And if anything, I feel more and more sorry for people that the casino takes advantage of, and I am increasing my desire to beat the casinos even more. And I see their evil more than ever, and my desire now is to continue to make money from these guys and do something good with the money to help people and to help society, and not just myself. So, I've done all the home improvements, I've done vacations, and there's a brighter future now for my children, for my wife, for myself. But looking at everything casinos do and how they treat people, it's just awful. And I want to give back to the community. So, am I happy? I'm very happy to reach this milestone, and I realize that it's a small step in a lot bigger game, and I want to up my game, and here's to 500,000 more soon, and a lot more after that. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I just wanted to mention this since today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Actually, I think it would have been his 95th birthday today. And I just want to say, although things have changed drastically in this country the last 70 years and 170 years and more, obviously I stand for equality for all. Not just skin color, not just belief system, but overall treating everybody equally. And I kind of feel like a lot of the questions and statistics that are taken from us are aimed to divide us, not to unite us. Why should it matter what my race or my gender or my religion is? And a lot of the programs are out there are actually racist, sexist, anti-this, anti-that in their nature. I mean, if you are taking someone who's less qualified because they're black or Hispanic or Asian or a woman or whatever it is, then you're doing a disservice to everyone. Obviously, we want equality for all, but not equity for all. You can look that up and figure out what the difference is, and really figure out what the difference is. But I want to say that although things have gotten better in this country, there are more slaves in the world today than ever before in history. and there's more genocide going on in the world today than in a long time, and there is more bad stuff going on in the world that is being ignored. And don't just think that what you see in the news is the full story. Step back and pay attention and think about it for a second. And I don't want to talk about specifics. I'd be glad to talk specifics with individuals, but I don't feel like doing it on this platform. But everybody should be respected and everybody should be treated equally. It doesn't mean equality of outcome. That means equality of opportunity. Although my parents don't know what I do, I want to thank them for all the love and nurturing that they've given me, and that they have always encouraged me to do the things that I thought were best, even sometimes to my detriment, but I appreciate them helping me and standing behind me, and I try to do so with my children, and I appreciate my wife and everything she puts up with for me to have this career as well. And it's paying off, but hopefully it'll pay off a lot more. Tomorrow may not have an episode because I've been off work for a few days, obviously a long weekend, and I want to make sure I have everything caught up, and I may have a meeting in person with my manager. However, the second that changes and I don't have that meeting, I will try to get on the road and try to make some money. I am going to work on work projects tonight, try to spend 3 or 4 hours on them tonight and 3 or 4 hours on them tomorrow, and that will afford me the opportunity to go play in casinos if there is an opportunity. So anyway, with all that said, I thank you guys, and I appreciate all your support for this last 400 episodes, and I look forward to working with you and talking to you and working together for the next 400. If you have any questions or comments, it's mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.